Trump got absolutely savage with one of the interviewers of the NABG. Check it out.
You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country.
So the crowd was really into it. Like they loved it. There were people cheering, and literally, who asks a question like that? Why? How does an interview start like that? As someone who's interviewed people, I would be so embarrassed to start. So, and again, I understand you want to be hard with people. You want to be a good journalist. You want to, get some good questions, but you warm it up as you go. To ask something like that right at the beginning is just awful form. Here's a list of everything bad you've ever done. Respond to that. Like, what was she expecting? And she properly got roasted. Anybody who asks a question like that deserves to be roasted in a like manner. Kamala Harris would never be asked a question like this. You didn't see it in that clip, but again, it's like a 30-minute video, a 35-minute interview or so. But Kamala Harris, like, these people love her. The way that, because Donald Trump would kind of attack her a few times on some very valid things throughout the interview, and they would come to her aid, and you could sense that there was this, like, passion, and it was like they were best friends in a way that's not normal. Like, it's not normal to love politicians that much. So a lot of people have been talking about it. Again, it's 30 minutes. They're saying that it was really bad for Trump. And again, I watched it so that you wouldn't have to. It really wasn't that bad for Donald Trump. There were some moments that I didn't love, and so I'll speak to what he did well, and I'll speak to what he could fix and do a little bit better. And I'll do that so you don't have to watch the whole interview, because honestly, it was kind of dry. I didn't really think it was as interesting as people are making it out to be. The interview itself, it has like over 1 million views right now, which is pretty decent for such it was a pretty small event. Again, the interview is incredibly dry. There was just a few key moments, which I want to talk about and show here. But I'll speak to some of the good stuff and then some of the stuff that he could fix. So Trump was very Trumpy. He certainly had some good moments like this where he did what he does best, which is that he attacks the elites. And here's the thing. Who doesn't like watching the elites get destroyed? This is what makes Donald Trump popular, because he is in the elite class. But then at the same time, he's saying, I understand your pain, to the little guy, and attacking the elites while they simultaneously tried to attack him back. So it's what makes him so appealing, and he does it in this interview. It's very good. He also had a few good lines talking about his economic policy, how it differs from Biden and Harris. Really good. He needs to do more of that. Those were both great. The problem, though, with the Trump campaign right now is that he has got to stop acting like a politician and be a little bit more direct. The thing that I could see from this interview, some people were saying he's racist. He was never racist. That whole thing is just crap. However, the critique that is a little bit more warranted is they're saying that, he didn't really have great answers to the questions. He kind of just danced around and didn't answer things really directly. I got to say that is true. With a lot of the questions that they asked him, he didn't just answer them straight out. He was kind of in this nebulous talking point. Again, it was very politician-y. And again, this is not Trump. Like, Trump's not a politician. So why he was acting like this, I don't know. Everything that he was asked, in my mind, if you go watch the video, it's like they're almost giving him gimmies in terms of policy, because they're talking about policies that Donald Trump did very good with and that Harris is absolutely awful with, and the things that she's done with Biden. And he had the perfect opportunity to turn it on Harris, say something bad about her, something good about him. He didn't really do that. He kind of talked about these kind of talking points that might appeal to his base better, which is fine. But at this stage in the election, you need to bring in independents and people who are undecided. Trump has the truth on his side. Like, again, any rational person knows that American life under his administration was much better. But for whatever reason, he's kind of getting lost in the sauce where he's talking about January 6th. Like, who cares? He's talking about Project 2025. No one cares about that. Talk about how are you specifically, Donald Trump, going to fix the economy and immigration? Because we all know that he can do it because it was so much better when he was president. He just wasn't a very good communicator in this interview, and he's got to fix that if he wants to beat Kamala Harris, because as I'll talk about in a little bit later, there is momentum behind Harris, and I don't know how real it is, but there's some. I don't know how much it is, but there's some. And whenever there's some, that's not a good thing if you're on the other side of it. I also do worry. This is one of my biggest worries about the Trump campaign right now, and I saw it when he was looking at a VP because people were kind of theorizing who would be. I worry that his aides and his staff and kind of those people who are behind him, like Vivek Ramaswamy, Tim Scott, Doug Burgum, I wonder if they're letting him off the hook. And what I mean by that is that he is not getting the critiques and the help that he needs. I don't know for sure if that's happening. It's just a worry that I have. It's an interesting thought exercise. Think about this for a second. Imagine you meet Trump. He shakes your hand and asks you what he could do better at his campaign. I think about that myself, and I think, okay, if he did that to me, would I have the courage to tell him basically what I'm saying right now? Would I have the courage to be like, well, Donald Trump, you are a great president, but man, you have got to be more direct. You've got to stop talking about random crap. I honestly don't think I could. And I think it's a good thought exercise to really think about it. Would you be able to give him a critique, or would you be more concerned about wanting him to like you, wanting him to understand that you were behind him 100%, wanting him to give you a job potentially, probably not us, but maybe, the people in his camp. And so I think many of us would not have the guts to do that. I think those who are wanting a job from him are probably going to do an even less job, and they kind of just fall into cheerleading. And I worry that has happened with some of those close to him instead of giving him some well-needed coaching, which, again, if you look at the people behind him, you've got Vivek Ramaswamy, Tim Scott, Doug Burgum, and many more. These are solid guys. These are solid people. His family, super solid. His daughters and daughters-in-law, super solid. I'm glad that they're running the RNC now. But at the same time, they don't help him, and they don't help the GOP if they're not willing to actually talk to him about what he can do better. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe, and watch another video.